The man goes to a different restaurant every day and orders nothing but dumplings. Even after trying dozens of places and eating to the point of nausea, he still insists on ordering only dumplings. Because only in this way can he find the person who imprisoned him for 20 years. 20 years ago, Joe got into a huge argument with his wife because he missed their daughter's birthday party. Depressed, he turned to alcohol to drown his sorrows. Soon, a heavy rain began to pour. He turned his head and noticed a beautiful woman standing by the street. Under the influence of alcohol, he didn't hesitate to approach her. He ended up spending a wonderful night with her. When Joe woke up the next day, he found himself in a strange hotel room. Instinctively, he pulled open the curtains, only to realize it was a photo disguised as a window. He pounded hard on the door, calling out for staff, but there was no response. At that moment, thick smoke suddenly filled the room. Soon after, Joe passed out. Then someone entered the room. They first took samples of his hair, then collected his fingerprints, and finally gathered his saliva. Joe was completely unaware of all this, until one day, the news reported the murder of a woman named Donna. Joe froze for a moment, because the victim was his wife. Based on the evidence at the scene, the police concluded that Joe was the killer. Their daughter was also sent to foster care. Only then did Joe realize the reason for his imprisonment. It was to frame him for the murder. This had been a carefully planned operation. From that very night, he had already walked into the trap, but for the sake of his wife and daughter, he had to find a way out. Although the food delivered to him every day came in different packaging, inside, it was always dumplings. Joe could only force himself to eat them. To cope with his loneliness, he treated a small mouse in the room as his friend. But one day, the mouse suddenly disappeared. Joe searched everywhere but couldn't find it. It wasn't until dinner time that he realized the mouse had been turned into food. Enraged, he smashed the mirror to vent his emotions. He didn't care even when he got injured. But when he woke up again, the wound on his arm had already been treated, and his hair and beard had been completely shaved. Joe realized there were surveillance cameras in the room. His every move was being watched. Whoever was behind this would not let him die so easily. And just like that, 8 years passed. Joe kept training his body and learned fighting skills from the TV. He also discovered that the bathroom was the only place not covered by cameras, and there was a loose brick in the wall. With just a little digging, it could be easily removed. To avoid suspicion, Joe only acted during his daily showers. If he stayed out of the camera's view for too long, it would definitely raise suspicion. As a result, he kept digging for a full 12 years. In the end, Joe successfully dug out a tunnel. But just as he was packing up and preparing to leave, the room suddenly filled with smoke again. Joe was unwilling to accept it. Were all his efforts about to be wasted?